One. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Muy buenas tardes. Nos encontramos en esta oportunidad con un fotógrafo amigo. Él vive en Virginia, en los Estados Unidos, fotógrafo norteamericano. Espero que esté entendiendo algo de la presentación que les estoy haciendo a ustedes. Y vamos a hablar con Jim acerca de su experiencia en el Ecuador como fotógrafo. Él ha venido varias veces y lo vamos a tener que hacer en inglés. Espero que muy pronto podamos colocar la traducción y que ustedes puedan seguirnos, a los que estén interesados en conocer esta historia, los puedan seguir con captions aquí en YouTube. Hi, Jim. Good
Hello.
afternoon.
Hola.
Hola, how are you doing, Jim?
Muy bien.
Yes, I can see you. The same. I'm okay. I can see your face younger than the last time I saw you. Yeah. How old are you, by the way?
I'm 82.
82.
Yeah.
Almost the same age as my mom has when she passed away. Almost.
Yeah.
So, Jim, I'm trying to remember the way we met here in Ecuador. You have a good memory. You have a brilliant brain. So I would like to know from your lips, from your voice, how do we met here in Ecuador?
Let's see. I was touring one of your prisons, and I saw you behind bars, and I pleaded with the guard to let you escape. No,
No.
no. We met. I went to a printing shop, a camera shop. I needed to get some prints made, and not speaking Spanish or speaking Spanish so badly, it would be anyway. I asked for help, and you were another customer, and you helped me place my order, and we've been friends ever since. Like what, 30 years ago?
Yeah, 30 years ago, or a little bit more, I think, because that day I remember I talked to you about the war is going to start from Ecuador and Peru. And you told me, I want to go there. I want to be there. Let's go.
Yeah.
So we went to the intelligence department of the military here in Ecuador to take an order to get into the battle camp, to the area where the war was started. And then we took a plane to Macas. Do you remember that?
Yeah, oh, sure, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. We were lucky because when we got there was a lot of people waiting for getting into Mendes in Patuca. And there was a twin other plane. Do you remember the plane that was playing all around all the time?
Yes.
It landed, and there was an order to take us to Patuca because you have a credential from Washington Post. Tell us that story. Tell us that story.
Yeah. My cousin was a columnist in the Washington Post. He published John Kelly. But you were instrumental. I just have to thank you for getting me to the front and 3 times getting me to appreciate soldiers really for the first time. How you have to be brave when you know the danger and you face it every day. It's not like a one-time over with. That takes courage.
So we took the chance and we got there. And of course, the Colonel Luis Hernandez, do you remember him?
Yeah, I took his photo and it was in the paper. Him?
The Colonel Luis Hernandez, the man, the strategic man. Remember, he
Uh,
was a colonel that way. He was one of the head officers in front of the war. He
okay.
speak English with you. We talked to him, and he said, "Okay, give them the chance to come in the plane to visit me." What do you remember, the Colonel Luis Hernandez?
Uh, I remember flying low over the jungle, and an officer showing me where there was a little stream, a little river that you would never see unless you were flying low. And that was really the bone of contention. When they had drawn
Yeah,
the map, they made a mistake and didn't know what was really the river to divide Peru and Ecuador. And
yeah. We got there to Patuca, and we have to wait for the chance to get into the jungle. And we went to Numpatacaibe to change for troops. We were in the moment they changed troops. They were in combat. That
yes,
was the place we were
right.
because of Hernandez. This colonel gave us the permission to get into the combat area.
Hmm.
We were, you and I, we were there.
Yeah.
A chapter took us to that place, and we got there, and we found the cemetery. Remember that?
Not really. I forget the cemetery. What I remember is a jet would fly over very
Yeah.
close to the tops of the trees. You were laying on the ground, and the ground was shaking just from the jet flying so fast. And that wasn't, that was a little frightening, but uh,
Yeah, it was because the jet was shot in one of the wings, and they have to land with one wing damaged because
yeah,
it was
okay.
impacted for Peruvian army.
Uh,
So that was the jet that was flying so low. Okay, that's not the point. The point is that you and I were there. When we got there, the days before of this specific situation, we went into the church and you talked to the priest. Tell us that story.
I, I don't remember. I don't remember talking to a priest in a church. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
because he rented a place to sleep with other
Oh, oh,
journalists.
sure. I remember sleeping in a restaurant uh, there was reporters from every country in Latin America, Argentina, Peru, I guess Chile, and North, covering the war. And there wasn't any place, there wasn't any hostel or guest house in that, wasn't even a village. It was, and so the woman owner or operator of the restaurant was kind enough.
Jim, it was not a restaurant at that time. It just
Oh,
was a normal woman that offered us to cook breakfast for us, you and I.
okay, okay.
Because the first night when we arrived there, the priest of the church, you pay him to give us a chance to sleep in the floor with another journalist. And very early in the morning, they started to sing and pray with in the streets of Mendes. So it was difficult to sleep, and we did it. We
Okay.
slept there, and the next day, I I talked to the lady and say it was possible to prepare us some breakfast. From that moment till now, there's a restaurant now.
Hmm.
It's called the Journalist. The Journalist is the real name of the restaurant. And you told me, don't change nothing. Leave the things like they are. Don't change nothing.
Yeah.
We didn't come here to change nothing. We're just witness of a moment in the history of this country.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I do remember that. Kind
Yeah.
people. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Why do I remember this? Because you were talking about your book, The Face of the Bricks.
Yes. Yes.
And you sent me the PDF. And I was reading the part that concerned the Ecuador chapter. And this chapter, you wrote about your experience in the jungle when we were at Black River, Rio Negro.
Okay.
And there was a lot of journalists, included you, spending a sunny day in the rocks of the river.
Right.
Most of the people of the town was there playing around, hanging on, and suddenly, a journalist get into the river, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and it started to draw.
Yeah.
I need to hear you from your voice to remember this.
The way I remember is the little native boys were swimming across the river, and I thought, it looks like fun. So I didn't have a swimming suit, so I just swam in my underwear, and it was a little swifter, the river, than I had expected. But anyway, I got to the other side. I'm tired, and I lay down. And then when I get up, I must have sat on some sap of a tree because it looked like I had crapped in my pants. And I was too embarrassed to go back to the other side of the river where you all were, to be with the other journalists. So I stayed downriver on the other side, and I hear somebody screaming, but I don't know. They're screaming in Spanish, of course, but I thought help was ayuda, something like that. Anyway, that isn't what they were screaming. They were just screaming. And then I hear you. I look over, and you're on the other side of the river, and you scream, "Jim, it's true." And when I hear you say that, I don't think at all. I just jump in the river and am actually swept down the river. It looks like I'm swimming, but it's really the current is rushing and pulling me to the waterfalls. And this guy is going straight for the falls. And I grab him as he whizzes by and latch onto a rock right at the top of the falls. We're both pooped. We have to regain our composure. So we rest there for, I don't know, a good 5 or 10 minutes, just trying to recover from the, the thought of almost getting killed by going over the waterfalls, but mostly because we were tired of swimming and being in that rapid water. So we just hang on to each other and to the rock. But then when we gain our composure, I have to think about how we're going to get away from the rapids. The minute we let go of the rock, we would go down the waterfalls and get killed. So we have to continue to hug each other. And I would try to get another rock. And we went very slowly, rock to rock, until we eventually got back to the side of the river that you were on. But it was I remember it was an Argentinian journalist. And I don't know how you're going to take this, Guillermo, but my experience was the soldiers are really working class. I mean, there was one regiment that didn't even speak Spanish. Okay, they spoke Quechua, and so I saw the soldiers as working class, and I saw the journalist as middle class. In other words, college educated, making a living in their profession. But we were playing around compared to what the soldiers were facing, because every day when we were back from the front, when a helicopter came in, we knew what that meant. It meant there were dying soldiers being brought back, or injured soldiers there being brought back to the hospital, and their wives and their mothers would be along the side of the runway, anyway. I got an appreciation for soldiers. See, I didn't volunteer to be a soldier because my country was fighting Vietnam and I was against that. But in the case of Ecuador fighting Fujimori in Peru, that was an easy call. I mean, you could see the justice in your trying to protect your own country and not wanting to be invaded yet again by a country 3 times as big as you. So, yeah, that's my memory.
Yeah, I read this chapter to talk with you about because it's one of the several stories that you have to tell us. Let us start from the beginning. How do you get into this book?
I had done a book on people working at a brick factory in Nepal. I've been to Nepal maybe, 30 times starting in the 70s, before a lot of you were even born. And I didn't intend to do a book. The picture behind me is kids in the brick factory. But I'm living with a Nepali family. The younger son is taken an interest in photography. Turns out to be a natural, meaning he knows photography isn't just the tools of photography, light, color, composition. This is the one I was thinking, the kids in the brick factory. And the one to the left, this Indian man in the mist, that sunrise hitting all the dust, not mist. He would walk so elegantly carrying the bamboo baskets with sand in it that I couldn't take my eyes off of him. He knew not to rush. You just get old. Yeah. And so after doing that book, here's the brick factory. Okay. This one here, little kid among all the bricks. And then the first one is there's actually 37 people taking the bricks out of the kiln and bringing them to a truck to haul them away. Then the 2 little girls hugging each other. I know all these people. I photographed them many a time and given them their photo before, but they didn't know I was photographing them from the back. They were just going back to their. It's not a house. It's just a shed. They sleep on the ground. They live in the brick factory. The little girl in red with the bag of sand, she just filled that bag up with sand. She is actually in motion. She can't stop. The bag's too heavy. Her mother was just as pretty. And the girl in the middle, I can't see the bottom of her face, but is it possible to scroll down so we can see her She's actually got a little baby under her shawl. She's from Bihar. Okay, that's your typical. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's good. Now you can see the baby in the middle picture.
Yeah.
That beautiful expression, kind of the eyes that stare right at you. That's typical of women in Bihar, which is Indian state bordering Nepal in northeast India. So after doing that book, I've been to so many countries that I decided to do. I love these kids in Mongolia. The one squatting down, goofing me off. It's so Mongolian, meaning they're practical jokers. And then the first one, the grandmother looking at the little boy on the bench, she has just helped him get up on the bench. And then he stares at her like, who are you? But I don't know what he's thinking. But and the little boy on the right with the yellow face, it's Papua New Guinea. He's going to a Sing Sing, which is a celebration. And then the three down below. The middle one, again, is the brick factory. The girl on the right, that's Mongolia. I've been to Mongolia 6 times, 2 months each time. I love Mongolians. They're just so warm and wonderful. And then
in every place you visit, you got a photographer guide to
I wouldn't say photographer guide. The trick is you want to ask permission, and if you get a local guide, your chances of getting a yes is much better than you asking. But you really need a local guide. You can't have some guide from the last village. You need one from the village you're at right then. Let's see.
Now we have landscapes. Continue, please. We want to hear you telling your story. I appreciate that you open to talk.
Okay.
To have this in my podcast.
Okay. Well, the book I got now, getting printed, is called Family of Friends. Okay. Una familia de amigos, I guess. And it's 80 photographs, no more. 80.
Jim, are you there?
It's 2 volumes. That's photos. And the second volume is 15 stories, 15 tales. Being in Cuba or being in Chile or Ecuador, Africa, Latin America. The waves in that picture were in Sri Lanka. Now this is men, this one here. The guy in the straw hat, he's from Cuba. The guy in the conical hat with the kind of purple scarf and blue coat, he's in Mali. The guy in the fur hat, he's from Tibet. The guy's playing pool, that's Papua New Guinea. And then the young man at the bottom on the right by the red door, he's in Tibet. He's actually locked out of his monastery. It's nighttime. It's getting dark. It's drizzling. And he then breaks into a laughing smile, finding it curious that would want to photograph him. Cuban. Come on.
What do you look at? What do you look in your pictures? What is what motivates you to take that kind of pictures?
Okay. Well, if I were to take your photo, I don't want a photograph of an Ecuadorian. I want a photograph of Guillermo. Okay. And so skip the stereotype, skip the noble savage. I'm not trying to say traditional people or anything. I'm just taking a picture of an individual. And at the same time, I'm trying to show our similarities. Okay. In other words, we're all, no matter what country we were born in, just trying to feed our family and educate our kids, basically. So there's no difference regardless. Guillermo, I had a strange thought just yesterday. And that is, well, it kind of comes it's, there are worse things than being poor, being rich. Okay. You know how when you don't have that much, you appreciate what you have. And when you get more and more and expect to get more and more, you become unsatisfied. It's like a fire. The more wood you pile onto it, the more it wants to consume. So unless we learn not to be this, constant consumer, wanting to have the latest whatever, we'll stay poor no matter how much money we have. These nature pictures.
And if you stay poor, what makes you rich? What makes you feel satisfied?
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, I love that question. Well, it won't be material things. If you're going to stay poor, you obviously aren't blessed with material possessions, and you'll probably die younger and be unhealthy, but you'll realize what really makes you happy are having friends and helping your friends. You realize that when you're sharing and you're assisting, it's solving your problems. Ironically, you stop worrying about me, and think of your grandkids or your mother or your brother or sister. And I just gave a speech on. I had an exhibit and I had to give a speech at the opening, and I didn't want to blow it, because the last speech I had given was to a bunch of journalists in Kathmandu, and I was awful. I couldn't have been worse. And so I didn't want to embarrass my brother-in-law, okay, who just died less than 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I practiced delivering the speech 4 times, and I just went beyond my normal self, and just tried to do as good a job as I could so that Dick would be proud. And I think there's something to that. I know what I learned from him was he found his happiness in helping us and helping other people. He was always that way. And he was always happy. So I'm trying to take a leaf out of his book and, stay interested in being alive. And like the thing that's
it has been the way you have lived all your life, helping others and thinking about other people, don't being selfish, and you always try to raise your voice against injustice. And so I think you're doing what it makes you feel so plenty, so satisfied. What do you think about that?
No, right now everybody is got their hearts torn out by what's happening to the Palestinians. It's like they're doing in 2 years what we North Americans did to the Native Americans, the Indians, in 200 years. We literally exterminated them and stole their land and their resources. Well, Gaza is that on steroids or speeded up.
A sort of. Not the same. A sort of. It's not the same, but it's a kind of situation that appears like you were at the beginning with your native Indians.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's colonialism run amok. It's capitalism to its logical conclusion. Maybe, I don't know, but anyway, we have to figure out how to help the people in Gaza. I mean, I've been to Gaza. One of the 80 pictures in my book, Family of Friends, is, well, two of them actually, one from Gaza, a little girl, and one from Hebron, a little boy.
And you have in your website the pictures? We're trying to find that.
No, I don't think either of those are up. These pictures here three are in Bangladesh, okay, the brownish ones. The colorful ones are in Nepal, and then the blue vertical in the middle at the bottom, that's Mozambique. I was trying to go around the coast of Africa for a couple of years with my Ethiopian guide. I mean, you were my Ecuadorian guide, but Mondefro was the best guide I've ever had. And we got a felucca. That's a very primitive boat. It's one mast. And we,
apologize.
No.
So sorry. I apologize. I'm so sorry.
You're frogging your throat.
So
I just come on.
Getting back into the book, it's a kind of legacy you're giving us.
Yes. Yeah, I devoted it to my great grand nieces and nephews and screw-ups like me, people who make mistakes. It's really intended for a 21-year-old guy, a freshman in college. So it's like an uncle, but I try to do it without being too, pedantic or preachy, and hopefully sometimes humorous. But, it would be nice if people could learn vicariously and not make mistakes. Now that I've gotten old, I'm appreciating old people more, because being old is I can't travel. I wouldn't travel anymore anyway, because the money I would spend, it would be better donated to helping the people in Gaza. Now,
great. So you got the way to give that donation, because you
yes.
have you had money from your friend that led you to help people.
Yeah.
You could do that.
My books, I don't sell them. I just give them to people who promise to donate to a charity that's at the back of the book. And the charity was a Nepali nonprofit who helps the people that work at the brick factories. They get eye injuries. The kids can't go to school, and they need help. So that's, and I don't tell them. It's really cool. I don't tell them how much to give, and I find they give more than if I said, give a certain amount. You got to give $100 or something. No. I mean, some people. Anyway, these pictures. Okay, let's go. The beautiful young lady is from Tibet with the red hat, and then the the middle picture of the old woman. She's actually 83. She's in Mongolia. And then the one on the right upper, that's really the first photograph I ever got or was happy with. She's in Nepal, but she doesn't know what a camera is. I mean, I show her my camera as a way of asking if I could photograph her. And she's just curious, not afraid. And it's out of focus in the back because that's the other side of the river. That's actually Tibet. And then the woman swinging the pick down at the bottom, that is in Bhutan. She's actually from Bihar, a migrant worker. And then the middle picture is Vietnam. If you get to Vietnam, go to Hoi An. It's a photographic gold mine. She's probably a widow from the Vietnam War. And now having to, be out on the street with tourists whizzing by in rickshaws. And then the horizontal one, the panoramic on the right of that, is 9 women in Nepal planting rice. That's their reflection in the rice paddy. And then I hang it upside down.
Is one of my favorite picture. I would like to have that picture in my house. So,
okay, you got it. I'll give it to you somehow.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I got a picture now. Thank you. I have 2 pictures of you that you gave me. The blue hooded. Remember the blue hooded?
Oh yes. The 3.
I have that one.
Yeah.
And another one, the first one that we saw at the beginning, I have at my home too, in my living room right here.
What is it of?
Pictures. The another one is, let me show you. You gave me this one, okay. This one, abstract. The first one.
Sure. Buddha's garden, I call it. I see Buddha. It's going to be hard to see it. Maybe go to where you just show one picture. You can do that. Go to abstract. One. Yes. Okay.
Buddha's garden.
Yeah. Can you get it to where it's just the whole screen, that one picture?
No, it's not possible. I'm trying to do that. Okay, fine.
Well, anyway, at the lower left, I see Buddha.
Yeah. Oh, no. My God.
That picture.
This one?
Anyway, that one is... that is a woman being pulled up by another woman. They're fertilizing the field. She has a basket of manure on her back. And then the big red spot behind her is another woman's backside. But for me, what would it be? The diagonal line reminds me of the Italian Renaissance paintings of the Blessed Mother assuming into heaven.
You're talking about this one of Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka? No, I'm talking about the one over on the left. The one in Sri Lanka.
No. The first one, the one that says Nepal.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on, please. Sorry for stopping.
Okay. I just wanted to try something artsy fartsy, not everything straight following the rules. And so I kept the camera open longer than you quote should. And you don't have to do anything. You just stand there, without shaking. And if something's moving, you'll get that impressionistic effect. Oh, see. Okay, I get you.
This is the picture you gave me.
Okay.
I have this one, and the blue-footed one is over there in that wall. So thank you so much for your gift. I appreciate that. Uh, de los patas azules.
Okay.
So I have those pictures here in my home.
Okay. The middle picture is actually, it's rickshaws at a remote railroad station in Bangladesh. But I mirrored it horizontally, and then I mirrored that uh, vertically. And so that's how you get the effect. You try it on 1,000 pictures, and they're mostly nauseating. They don't quite work or don't work at all. But this one seemed to pull together okay. But
It's
this
great.
one, the one on the right, this woman let us stay in her house, me and my guide,
Sri Lanka.
in Sri Lanka. But she had no electricity. She didn't even have a roof on her house. And she had a tarp, but when it rained, the tarp would leak. She's pounding rice. Okay, that's what she's doing. But I had to photograph it from the available light, which was just the fire. But I like the effect. Anyway, if you saw the picture and looked at it closely, you can see features of her face. But you'd have to, it's almost you have to look at it a while. And anyway,
It's yeah, I can see some details. And the shadow, it becomes like a sort of ghost on her back. It's a nice,
yeah.
nice picture. So,
Thank
are you happy with your work?
Uh,
How many years working on them?
well, right now I'm making the last, correcting the
La-
spelling on this 2-volume book, the Family of Friends, and when I get that out, I'll be relieved. If I wasn't with you right now, I live in paradise. I have a natural setting on a creek that runs right
Yeah.
around my cabin, and I border a national forest, and I'm in paradise, natural. It's when people come out to visit, you think they're going to be impressed by the scenery and the wildlife and on and on and on, which they are. But what they notice is how quiet. It's totally quiet. There's no
I can
man-made.
imagine that.
No.
Yeah.
I'm far away, 10 miles from the nearest highway, so I don't hear any traffic. All I hear man-made wise would be an occasional private Cessna little plane flying over, because I live in the mountains or the hills. Yeah, I wish, you were here during the pandemic. Gene and I really wanted to see you, Guillermo, but
Yeah, I want to be there also because I was one day ago to be with you
yeah,
in 2021, I think. No, 2022. I went to Chicago, and then we agreed to meet each other, but the COVID was a problem for then, and you was afraid
yep.
get in. Yeah, but now everything is okay. Maybe I'm gonna be in Miami next month, and
Whoa,
we can make something if you want to come to Miami to visit my uncle. No,
no.
and not for the weather. Maybe I can
Well,
go to visit
yeah,
you.
you come and visit us. You would love it here. You're going to
Yeah,
want to.
thank
I have
you.
I have a Vietnamese friend who's coming next week, and we're going to spend 4 or 5 days. We're going to go to West Virginia. We're going to go to 2 parks. One is the waterfalls, And resides it's like Canada. It's weird. It's just up in the mountains, and the trees are blown, sideways. And anyway, I've never been there, and I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, there's a lot around here that we could go and visit. Nature, if you know.
Let's try it, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great.
Let's try it. Take a plane to Washington, then go to you can pick me there up, and we'll see. We can do.
Yeah, I'm 2 hours from DC. I can come and get you.
Come and get you. We're on the road again with Gene and Jim. We're on the road again.
Right. Yeah. Gene loves that one.
Yeah. So we can make it that. I think it's time to put a point, not a final point, but this conversation. It has been very nice to talk to you, to see you're great, because you told me you have a heart attack or something like that.
Yep.
Let us know how it was.
It's okay. You don't retire before you get, some ailment. You can't do anything. But as long as I watch it, I'm afraid I'll be here. So, what would I want to end with? Just enjoy living in Ecuador. I mean, come on. I mean, Giovanni, the Italian missionary that taught at the Pontifical University in Quito. He introduced me to an older guy who lived. Okay, when this guy was young, we're talking in his teens and his 20s, he hitchhiked on boats. That's what you did in those days, I guess. And he traveled all over the world. I mean, he lived a couple of years here and there, and he wound up living not just in Ecuador, but in the part of Ecuador that was between the Amazon and the mountains. Okay. So if you're in Puyo and go north, I don't know, 100.
I know what you're talking about. Maybe it was some lodge.
No, there's nothing there. There's no place to stay. That's the problem. Anyway, so I visited him, and what I'm trying to say is, of all the places in the world that he could have settled down, he picked this particular topography. And what was special and unique about it was it had caves, which had underwater rivers. And I can remember being in a cave there, and it got hairy. It must have been raining or something upstream, and the water just almost engulfed you, and we had to get out. Anyway, I've never seen such a wonderful place, a country. Well, come on, Ecuador is like a little keystone. You've got 3 different climates: the coast, the mountains, and the jungle, all within hours of each other.
Yeah, that's the biodiversity that we have.
Yeah.
And I read something that you wrote in your book that says, if you want to travel, you start now, younger.
Yeah, you got to travel young, I think. People like you when you're young. And when you're older, they don't even look at you. So, you're left alone. But no, travel while you can, before you get bogged down in a career or a marriage or whatever else is enjoyable, but limits your options. my mistake was my first trip, a year and a half uh, in Latin America. No, just South America, Colombia to Chile, and then back up, with 8 months of that in Brazil, which I absolutely loved. Um, I shouldn't have come home. I should have found a job in Bogota teaching English and struggled to learn Spanish because that's the most beautiful Spanish I've ever heard. But if I had done that, I wouldn't have been to Asia, Africa. Although I was planning actually to go from Brazil to Africa, but I couldn't get a boat. I didn't look hard enough. Yeah, travel young. Well, do what you want. If you don't want to travel, then fine. But I found it. I just hitchhiked. I couldn't afford otherwise.
But you say it was a mistake. But I can also see you have good decisions in your life, like no sugar at all in your life, and you're
Yeah,
taking care of your health. And you never told me before about this because when we were young, younger than now, to stop eating sugar, bro, you have to tell us because you knew in advance. Well, everybody knows now that sugar is a poison.
yeah. No, sugar's not good. Salt, no. Drink a lot of water. I'm finding that would be helpful. Uh, anyway, yeah. Pay attention to your health because if you could listen, if you could be handsome, wealthy, or healthy, of those three, what would you really want to be? And it's of course healthy.
Healthy,
So
of course.
I don't smoke. I don't drink. I mean, we're going to get sick as it is. So why speed it up? Um, and you're living. I mean, we're all products of our environment. And if you're living in a place that is pleasant year round, we've got freezing weather right now. It's boiling hot. Well, you don't have, at least in Quito, that dilemma or that limitation. You've got eternal spring. I mean, one season's
Yeah,
rainy.
that's right. Cheryl Spring.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's great. Now
appreciate
you
what
can.
you got. Where else is that? I mean, on the equator in Africa, it's so hot that you cannot work outside in the middle of the day. It's not possible. Okay. I mean, I had a job there as a geologist, and I had to have my workers they have to stop working. And it's so humid, for one thing. Well, it's like the Amazon. Anyway,
Ah, Jim, I'm so happy to see you so good. I
thank
can
you.
see you strong, healthy, and your eyes, your eyes are plenty of healthy. You're not sad at all. You can deal with your loneliness because you decided so,
Yeah.
and you are like an example for people of my age, my generation, coming in a different way of living. I would like to continue living like you did for a long time, uh, eating healthy, thinking healthy, doing the things you like, living apart everything, living on a paradise, like you said.
Yeah. Well,
So
come. You got to come and visit me, Guillermo.
yeah, yeah. It's good to think about that because I want to go to know your paradise. I have seen your paradise every day in your pictures
Yeah.
because you share with a group of friends of you, and I hope you share this video too with them because they will know why you're doing this book and what it means to you. So to end this interview, I would like to hear from you saying the reasons uh, why you did this book and for whom, like a legacy for the rest of the generations coming to see what you did for us.
Okay, good. Gracias, Guillermo.
Yeah, you have the words. Say it to your friends. When they will see this video, they will understand why you did this book. Say something for them, for your
Uh, I hope
nephews.
I'm trying to entertain them. I did 119 stories. Usually, like it would be 2:30 at night or in bed. I'd wake up and I'd get uh, the first sentence. Okay, and I like that. That's you know no, and then that one first 8 words. It's got to follow another sentence, and they say if you want to have somebody surprised at the end of a story, you have to be surprised. So the story just sort of tumbles out on its own, and you tell a tale. It's true, but it's just your memory. Your it's not a travelogue, but it's pleasant stories. And of those 119, I picked 35 that I thought would be the most entertaining. Yeah.
The 35 to deserve to be read.
Yeah. And then a lot of friends have helped me because, I'm not the most literate. Proofread it, and there'll be a bunch of mistakes anyway, but it was fun. I would never want to do it again. It's a lot of work, but definitely do a book. You'll appreciate other people's books if you try to do one yourself. Yeah, you should do a book.
Yeah, I have to think about that and decided to start because you started very, very soon. Long years ago, you started to write a book.
Yeah.
I remember you writing in the room next to my room, seated writing your book, several hours writing.
Yeah. Well,
So
yeah, that's just getting down today's activities, so you have some notes to later refer to because you forget. At least I do.
yeah, I can see you forgot several things about the moments we were in the war.
Yeah.
So
Well, tell me your name again.
Billy Van de Kerkhoff.
Whoa. Okay.
Okay, Jim.
Okay. Okay.
It's been a pleasure to talk to you, to see you. Um, Thank you so much for
Okay.
opening
I
my window.
expect to see your white hair here any moment.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm going to try. So thank you so much. Say hello to Jean and Thomas, and I'll try to be there sooner or later. I'm going to be there.
Great.
My
Okay.
dear friend, thank you so much.
All righty. Take care, Diamo.
Take care, you too. Bye bye. See you
Bye.
soon.
Good.